Mob mentality and justice have been at odds since the very beginning of the court system. There are times in which the views of the public become entangled with the court process, making true justice impossible. This is the tale of a man whose trial was part court case and part media circus. O.J. Simpson.
On June 12, 1994, Simpson's ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and her friend, Ron Goldman, were found stabbed to death outside her Brentwood estate. O.J. was told to come in for questioning, but rather engaged the police in a 3-hour car chase. This has prompted many to ask, was former NFL star, broadcaster, and actor O.J. Simpson capable of murder? No.
Yeah, we really just want to bring awareness to this case and about all the suffering that the public inflicted upon Mr. Simpson.
Yeah, it's our responsibility as filmmakers to use our voice to enlighten people that may have never heard of the O.J. Simpson case.
Yeah, so true. I mean, people don't even really realize the extent of the witch hunt that Mr. Simpson had to endure. For example, after he got acquitted, did you know he wasn't even able to get a reservation to his favorite restaurant? You know, and honestly, I think that if we can use our small amount of power to try to correct this abortion of justice, then we absolutely should, you know?
Because there are two main reasons why we have to believe that Mr. O.J. is innocent. First,
Since the very beginning, DNA evidence was compromised and contaminated. When collected, the evidence wasn't placed carefully into a paper bag, but rather into a plastic one. Then the DNA wasn't properly refrigerated, meaning that the DNA is canceled out by the heat. Then the real killer's DNA was cross-contaminated with OJ's DNA in the LAPD labs, and probably in every other lab. And then, due to the sheer strength of O.J. Simpson's blood, a false positive was produced instead of inconclusive results.
OJ.
but the evidence for O.J.'s innocence becomes much more compelling when you realize the LAPD were racist. Mark Furman, first detective on scene and criminal mastermind, single-handedly set up the most complex crime scene in American history, and would have gotten away with it if it weren't for the heroic efforts of the defense team.
Yeah, and he even pled the fifth when he was asked if he manufactured the crime scene.
A sure sign of guilt. Mark Furman knew that the last time that O.J. was seen in public was around 9:36 p.m. and knew that Goldman and Brown were going to be killed at 10 p.m. So using the nearly hour and a half until O.J. would be next seen trying to leave the state of California, Mark Furman went to work. Furman proceeded to take an exact replica of O.J.'s car around the neighborhood so that his neighbors would think that they saw O.J. Then, after the murders occurred and O.J.'s car was being towed, Mark Furman proceeded to run alongside the car and fling Goldman's blood into the car. Then, Furman puts O.J.'s blood onto Nicole Brown's socks and proceeded to pay off all 100 cameramen so that way no one would notice when he went into the evidence van and put it in there. Mark Furman then proceeded to run around the entire neighborhood and back around so that way it appears that he arrives after they were put into the evidence van. Mark Furman then took O.J.'s blood and began to rub it all along the painted fence. Now, O.J.'s troubles did not end in 1994. In fact, O.J. was recently released from prison on the charge of armed robbery in the Las Vegas casino.
One can only speculate on how Mark Furman was able to frame O.J. Simpson for these crimes as well.
As an expert on racism, I'd like to provide some background on this trial. What a lot of people don't know is that this case was kind of a big deal. Every time you turn on the news, it always felt like there was coverage of the O.J. Simpson trial. For a brother in the African American community, it must have felt like O.J. Simpson was just the latest of billionaire-millionaire superstars being targeted because of their race. Think the likes of Michael Jackson, Tiger Woods, Bill Cosby, the list goes on. Some race relations experts even thought that race riots might occur. As an avid racist, the pressure on Mark Fuhrman must have been intense. He felt the need to plant evidence before he was seen to arrive on the case.
During filming, my partner Roman noticed a disturbing detail forgotten by the prosecution. A bloody glove that the prosecution claimed belonged to OJ was found at the scene, but was a size too small for his hands.
In an already uncomfortable situation, would anyone want to add to the discomfort by wearing gloves too small for them? I mean, Zachary, hypothetically, if you were killing your girlfriend, wouldn't you be uncomfortable?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Clearly, for any rational man, if they were that uncomfortable, they simply would have just taken a breath and gone home.
There are still so many questions left unanswered, like why is Mark Fuhrman so racist? Who really killed Nicole? And why won't my mother talk to me after filming this documentary?
But we can answer one question right now. O.J. Simpson is not guilty.